Back here with Chris Broussard talking some Clippers and Mavs in Game 1 last night. Kawhi with a team-high 29 points, 12 boards, while Luka set a playoff debut record with 42 points of his own. It wasn't enough, though, as the Clippers get the win. 118-110 your final. Nick, how should the Clippers feel about the series after Game 1?
Like they got away with a robbery, scot-free. And they'll never be prosecuted for it, thanks to their partner in crime, Kane Fitzgerald, and those referees.
Right, you're taking this all the way.
Listen, I've got some inconvenient truths, to steal a line from our former vice president, for Broussard about what was happening in that basketball game before Kristaps Porzingis was thrown out. The Mavericks had outscored the Clippers 69-48. After that awful start. The Mavericks' offensive rating until Kristaps was thrown out was 118. After he was thrown out, it was 88. In the quarter Kristaps was thrown out, the Mavs scored the fewest points they've scored in any quarter all season. You said earlier, oh, the Clippers were going to close them out late anyway. Well, and I know a lot of the Clippers analysis has been evidence independent, but we have no evidence of that. This season, the Clippers have not been a good come-from-behind team. 18 times they've trailed by 4 or more going into the fourth quarter. There's 24 times they've trailed by 4 or more going into the fourth quarter. They're 7-17. They've lost 8 in a row. And when Kristaps got thrown out, they were down by 5. So this idea that it wasn't about Kristaps' ejection is foolishness. So, Broussard, the Clippers should feel like, man, maybe we should have invested in some more perimeter defense because Luka just dropped 42 on our head and the Mavs were en route to scoring 130 before the refs intervened. That's how I would feel if I were your beloved Los Angeles Clippers this morning.
Well, first of all, let me tell you how Kristaps Porzingis should feel after watching Nick on First Things First this morning. Like he's Larry Bird. I mean, my goodness, I guess he's a Hall of Famer now to hear Nick tell it. No way the Clippers would have come back and won had Kristaps Porzingis not been ejected. Nick, do you know how many times the Clippers have played the Mavericks this year?
It's now 4.
4.
They're 4-0.
And they're 4-0. Yeah. And 2 of those wins were by 15 points. Okay? Look, I hated the fact that Kristaps was eliminated from that game. It was terrible. Even Marcus Morris even said he hated to see it. Nobody wants that. But to sit here and act like that is why the Clippers won the game, no. Now, I don't know that they would have come back and won. I know they're going to win this series, and they would have won the series even if Dallas won the game last night. So to call it series changing and all that's ridiculous. All that said, the Clippers do have work to do. I think this was a wake-up call for them. That's how they should feel about this. They played too much isolation basketball. See, I'm objective. I think with my head, not my heart, unlike some of us. So what I can look at the Clippers and see the isolation on the offensive end. It was almost like they were taking turns. It was Kawhi's turn. It was Marcus Morris's turn. It was Lou Williams' turn. It was Paul George's turn. They play a lot of isolation basketball anyway. They're like 22nd in the league in assists. But last night, they only had 18 assists. That's 5 below their average for the season, which isn't good. And so they need to have more ball movement. Obviously, defensively, they struggled against the Mavericks. But look, you talk about perimeter defense, Nick. They've got 2 of the best wing defenders in the league. In Paul George.
Where's the evidence? Hold on. We keep saying that. We keep saying that.
Really?
Wait,
how about their careers? That's the evidence. Their careers.
Okay.
They had a bad
we're
game
talking
last
about.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But you're going to say now they can't defend the perimeter? Really?
No.
You really want to go there?
What I'm going to say is it's the playoffs now. You would think people are at peak motivation. It was Luka Doncic's first career playoff game, and he scored more points in his first career playoff game than any player in league history ever had in their first career playoff game. It seems noteworthy to me. That's all. I'm just going to say that, you know what? It seems it is the fact that in the 25 minutes, or 27 minutes, pardon me, prior to Kristaps being thrown out, the Mavericks scored 71 points. Seems like we should, while clearly the Clippers have the personnel to have a great defensive team, Beverly couldn't stop fouling, and Kawhi, Broussard, didn't seem that interested last night in taking on the challenge. Did he seem like it to you? Did Kawhi look like, you know what, I'm going to stop Luka Doncic. Enough is enough. Or was Kawhi saving himself for the offensive end?
Luka had a great game, but he also had, what, 10 turnovers? You failed to mention that, okay?
11, I think.
He was turning the ball over, 11 turnovers. You turn the ball over left and right. Patrick Beverly clearly still getting himself into shape after coming back from the sore calf. You are so overreacting to one bad game, and they still won. And see, I was young like you once. I was young like you once, Nick. Win and advance. That's all it's about. Win and advance. Ugly wins, pretty wins,
second best guy kicked off.
Wins,
makes it easy.
All right, we'll move on.
I think it's going to be like, I wonder if it gets down 3-0. They just kind of roll. Go ahead, let's look
Onto
at
the
the
Sixers stumble game one last night. Despite Joel Embiid's 26 and 16, the Philadelphia 76ers, without Ben Simmons, could not hold on. Boston gets the win. Nick, what did we learn from game one?
Well, Jason Tatum was excellent. Joel Embiid, for every game the Sixers win in this series, Embiid has to be superb. And he was for the first quarter, and then not so much. He started the game off, I think, 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points in the first, was outstanding. And then he was good, but not great the rest of the way. However, for the Celtics moving forward, I think they can win this series no matter what. The no Ben Simmons, as Wildes pointed out, is a huge loss for the Sixers to defend Tatum. But Gordon Hayward might be done for the rest of the postseason.
Yep.
Certainly done for the rest of this series. And he was playing good basketball prior to the stoppage and then in the restart. Wildes, I fear for the Celtics, who I have going to the conference finals, no Gordon Hayward could be massive for them against the Raptors in round 2.
Yeah, but Kemba looked good. I felt like Kemba looked springy, looked good. Hey, do you think Embiid is too honest in his post games, Nick? Like after the game, he's like, I got to do more. It's like, yeah, dude, you're a superstar and it's the playoffs. You're always like, yeah, I got to do more. You know what, guys, I got to do more. Like, yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, listen, I actually find Embiid's honesty for the most part refreshing, but he's got to actually do it. I mean, we know he has, especially against Boston's biggest weakness is their lack of a true interior defender. And so the only guy they had last year who could give Embiid trouble is now Embiid's teammate in Al Horford. So he's got to go into these games with the mindset of, to steal a line from Shaq, I'm going to get you 35 and 20, and that's going to be easy. Without Ben Simmons, if he doesn't do that, I don't think they have the firepower to deal with the Celtics.